Discover the heartwarming moment: a CEO is transformed when he encounters his ex-wife and a baby. Ryan Mitchell stood in his corner office, the skyline of the city glimmering like gold through the glass walls. A titan of tech, he had everything: money, power, prestige. But on the inside, he felt like a husk. After a brutal week of endless meetings, his heart felt heavier than ever. He needed a break, a pull toward something genuine. On an impulse, he decided to drive back to his hometown, a quaint Midwestern place he hadn't visited in years. As he walked down the same streets where he played as a child, nostalgia pulled at his heart. The sound of kids laughing, the distant scent of fresh bread from the bakery, it felt like a warm hug. Then he saw her. Sarah. Her laughter floated on the breeze as she played with her vibrant daughter, Lucy. A rush of memories crashed over him, those sunny afternoons spent laughing, loving. In that moment, the sight of her, radiant and resilient, made his chest tighten. Despite her struggles as a single mother, she found joy in everyday life, something he had nearly forgotten how to do. "Ryan? Is that you?" Her voice was a mixture of surprise and warmth. There it was, that familiar spark in her eyes that he used to know so well. They talked like no time had passed, sharing stories of their lives, touching on their shared history. But beneath the surface, unspoken feelings surged. How had he let go of this, her, and of the life they could have had? The cracks in his guarded exterior widened with each passing moment. Suddenly, the laughter of the moment dimmed. Ryan learned of the impending closure of the local factory, a place that had employed his neighbors for decades. Guilt gnawed at him like a relentless dog. He had the means to help, but would he? The townsfolk remembered the sharp businessman who had left them behind in pursuit of his dreams. Now, as he faced the specter of his past, Ryan felt the weight of their judgment. Could he face them after what he'd done? At the town hall meeting, the room buzzed with tension as Sarah's gaze bore into him, piercing through his confidence. He was set to speak about the factory's fate, but now his destiny unfolded before him like an open book. People shuffled, their faces painted with worry and doubt, expectant gazes locked on him. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Ryan cleared his throat as he considered the question that reverberated in the room: should he be given a chance for redemption? The emotional stakes rose, weaving through the crowd like an invisible thread. He could hear their thoughts, feel their pain. Right at that moment, a local resident shouted out, "Why should we believe you'll change?" The room tensed as eyes darted around, awaiting his response. Caught between ambition and integrity, Ryan stared into the faces he once knew. As he opened his mouth to answer, he felt Sarah's encouraging smile. He understood he needed to confront his past, but would he have the courage to redefine not just himself, but the lives of those who mattered most? Ryan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the eyes upon him. Every face brought back a memory: the single mother who worked 3 jobs, the father whose heart sank when the factory closed its doors, the children he used to play football with in the fields after school. The air in the town hall was thick with anticipation, and he felt the gravity of what was at stake. "I know I've made mistakes," he began, his voice wavering. "When I left, I chased after success without thinking of the people I'd leave behind. I thought I could build a legacy, but what good is a legacy if it doesn't lift up the community that raised me?" He paused, searching for that connection he once had with them. "Today, I stand here not just as Ryan Mitchell, the CEO, but as one of you, someone who grew up on these streets, who belonged here." The audience murmured, some hopeful, others skeptical. Ryan's eyes caught Sarah's. She nodded slowly, her expression filled with support and caution. The history they shared whispered in his mind, urging him forward. He couldn't just tell them he'd change, he needed to show them. I can't promise I'll fix everything overnight, he continued, but I see a chance for us to work together. I want to help this town thrive again. I want to help the factory reopen or find new opportunities for those who have lost their jobs. I'm here, and I want to invest emotionally, and financially. A heavy silence followed, his words hanging in the air. He could feel the rising hope mixed with disbelief. Then, someone from the back called out, "Why should we trust you now?" Ryan felt his heart rate spike. The question hung there like a challenge. "Because I know what it means to have a second chance," he said, "and I want to give you all the same chance I'm seeking for myself. I can't change the past, but I can change the future." He took a step forward, letting vulnerability wash over him. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking for the opportunity to be better together." A murmur ran through the crowd. Ryan could sense the shift. Some faces softened, hope flickering in their eyes. But not everyone was convinced. He could feel the skepticism clenching around his heart like a vice. Was it enough? Then he heard Lucy's giggle somewhere near the front. The sound was pure and full of innocence. It reminded him of the joy in simple things, of community and connection. If he could inspire a brighter future for Lucy, maybe there was a way back into his past. With renewed energy, Ryan added, "I vow to be here, not just for the business, but to be part of this community again. I'll be at your doorsteps, not just on media or conference calls. I'll attend town halls, volunteer in schools, and listen to your ideas." The atmosphere shifted. The tension of skepticism unraveled little by little. Some folks nodded, others whispered in agreement. Yet there were still unsure faces staring back at him. He needed one more light of truth. "Sarah has shown me the beauty in resilience," he said, glancing at her. "This town has shown me what community means. If we forge ahead together, we can transform this place into something special." Sarah's smile widened, and the warmth radiating from her filled him with a sense of purpose. He could feel it, something was changing. "Let me show you the man I want to be, a man worth trusting," Ryan finished, his heart pounding. As he stepped back from the podium, the eyes of those gathered still scanned him, some hopeful, some doubtful. Would they believe in him? Would they let him in? Just then, a voice cut through the murmur, "If you're serious, prove it." Ryan took a deep breath. They needed more than words, they needed action. But what would that action be? His heart raced, contemplating where all of this would lead. Ryan's mind spun, grappling with the challenge brought forth from the crowd. Action. He had to think fast. He scanned the faces in front of him again, all of them waiting for a sign, anything to reassure them that he was real, that he meant what he said. "Let us start with the factory," Ryan called out, the conviction in his voice drawing more attention. "Next week, I'll host a meeting with former employees and anyone interested in reviving that space. We'll explore all options, grants, partnerships, whatever it takes." A grumble of disbelief echoed through the hall, but he pressed on. "I'm also pledging to start a mentorship program for our youth. Let us leverage the talents we have here. Together, we can create job opportunities and skills training workshops. Isn't that what you want?" He noticed a few more heads nodding, and his heart lifted slightly. Yet, tension still danced in the air. Ryan needed something to break through the wall of skepticism. Just then, he spotted Sarah's gaze turning towards the door. Her face fell for a brief moment, and confusion swept over him. Was someone coming in? His breath caught in his throat as the door opened and in walked an unexpected figure, his ex-wife, Emily, cradling a baby in her arms. The air shifted again, and Ryan felt a rush of emotions: joy, confusion, a rush of nostalgia. Emily looked around, her presence commanding attention, just like it always had. Their history flashed through his mind, a whirlwind of love, heartache, and unspoken words. But there she was, standing tall, with a tiny miracle in her arms. It was almost surreal. Ryan, she said, breaking into an uncertain smile. I hope to catch you here." The crowd buzzed with muted whispers as they exchanged glances between the two of them. Ryan's heart ached with a mix of sorrow and hope. He took a tentative step toward them. "Emily, what is going on?" "This is our daughter," she said softly, a hint of challenge in her gaze. "Her name is Mia." Mia? The name settled in Ryan's chest like a warm ember. He'd never imagined being a father, and now, here was this little girl who bound them together. "Can I hold her?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper, but the warmth in his words seemed to capture the attention of everyone in the room. Emily hesitated for a moment before nodding, her eyes searching his face for something trust, maybe. As she handed over the baby, Ryan felt the weight of a future he'd never envisioned. His arms held Mia gently, as if she were made of glass. "Hi there, little one," he murmured, feeling a rush of protective love flood through him. The crowd watched closely, uncertainty in the air. "Look," Ryan spoke to the audience while still cradling Mia. "This baby represents hope. She represents a future, a chance to make things right, not just for me, but for all of us." A little girl squealed from the front of the crowd, "She's so cute." And laughter bubbled from the crowd, breaking through some of the earlier tension. Ryan looked up from Mia's bright eyes, meeting Emily's gaze. Something unspoken passed between them. A glimmer of understanding. This unexpected connection might be just what he needed to bridge the gap between his past and his potential future. "Let us do this," he declared boldly, determination filling him. "Let us make a better place for Mia and for every child in this community. If I can earn your trust, I will prove that we can rise again, together." But as the room began to respond with scattered applause, he could see some doubt still linger. The challenge that had been laid at his feet was far from over. Could he truly fulfill that promise? And what would Emily's presence mean for the road ahead, especially as they shared a daughter? Even as he embraced this surprising twist, the uncertainty loomed. Would he be able to unify his past with the future he yearned to create? Ryan held Mia, feeling the weight of responsibility more than ever and still, questioning if he was ready for the journey to come. Ryan stood in the center of the hall, the applause of the crowd fading into a soft murmur as he continued to cradle Mia. Her tiny fingers wrapped around his thumb, and in that moment, everything else seemed to blur away. The smiles, the skepticism, and the uncertain whispers lost their urgency. The warmth of the baby made his heart swell, but also reignited all the feelings tied to Emily. "Let us make this happen," he repeated, more for himself than for anyone else. He looked around the space that once echoed with the sounds of machines laboring, now filled with the potential of laughter and community actions. "Together, we can transform our town back into something beautiful." He caught sight of Emily and felt the gravity of her gaze. She was watching him closely, a mixture of concern and pride decorating her features. Remembering their past, the disagreements that led them here, he wondered what lay ahead for them now, as parents. Could they build a bridge over the chasm of history? "Can we think beyond today?" Ryan asked the audience, trying to shake off his raw introspection, but he noticed a flicker of doubt in some faces. This isn't just about one person speaking. It's about all of us coming together. We need voices from every corner of this town, the skeptics, the dreamers, the ones who remember the factory days and want to see it thrive again. A man in the back shouted, "You talk big, Ryan. But does that mean anything?" The challenge rang out, sharp and slicing through the moment. Ryan's instinct was to defend himself, to prove he was not just an ex-husband but a committed leader. Yet there was truth in the man's words. He had to convince more than just the audience, he had to convince himself. "Yes," Ryan said, a fire igniting in his chest. "I know I have a lot to prove. I've let you down before. But I want to make a promise today, not just for you, but for Mia. I want this world to be more than what we are, specifically for her generation." He held up Mia once more, her small body a symbol of everything at stake. I want her to grow up in a community that thrives, one that believes in second chances. One that builds instead of tears down. A ripple of energy coursed through the gathered group. More heads nodded, murmurs began to rise, and the tension transformed into something palpable: hope. Emily shifted on her feet, her eyes flickering with uncertainty. What was she thinking? Did she believe in his vision? Ryan wanted to reach out, to bridge this divide that felt just as vast as the one he'd created in their marriage. Tension rose again as Ryan turned to the crowd. Let us schedule that meeting for the factory, together. Let us draft our aspirations, and show everyone what we can do. The crowd began to chatter excitedly, ideas buzzing in the air like fireflies. He could feel the tide turning, but the looming shadow of doubt pushed on his mind. What would happen when the moment of revelation passed? And Emily? What would her next move be? Would she remain in this town, weaving in and out of his aspirations? As the energy in the hall shifted, Ryan caught a glimpse of Mia's smile, and the world swayed for a fraction of a second. Just before stepping down from the makeshift stage, he met Emily's questioning gaze again. Can we face this uncertainty together? He wanted to ask. But instead, all he could do was wonder what would it take for them to find common ground again. The crowd began to cheer, but Ryan's heart raced. The journey ahead was still murky, and he felt it all hang in the balance. Would they be able to collaborate on something bigger than either of them? As he held Mia tight, he took a deep breath and realized that the actual love story was just beginning. And the next chapter could change everything. Ryan stepped down from the stage, his heart still pounding with adrenaline. The cheers lingered in the air, but beneath them, he felt a mix of hope and anxiety. As he walked toward Emily, his pulse quickened with every cautious step. Would she see him as he wanted to be seen? A man ready to reshape their future. Mia seems to bring out the best in you, Emily said softly, a hint of a smile touching her lips. It was fleeting, but it gave Ryan hope. And you, he countered, his voice thick with emotion. I saw you out there, proud and strong. It's been a while since I've seen that spark in you. A soft laughter escaped Emily, yet her expression flickered, revealing a vulnerability hidden beneath her poised facade. Maybe we both have a lot to prove. As they stood there, surrounded by people buzzing with excitement, he felt a wave of longing crash over him. The years that had drifted between them were still stark, but so was the possibility of something new. Could they allow a glimmer of hope to pierce the shadows of their past? Mia deserves more than what we've shown her so far, Ryan ventured, his heart exposed. I need your help, Em. This town needs your story. Emily's brow furrowed. My story? I haven't lived in the past few years, Ryan. Everything's changed. This town can change too, but we need every voice, every hand. I want you to be a part of it, to inspire others. He paused, searching her eyes. To inspire us. Ryan could see hesitation dance behind her gaze. I'm scared, Ryan. I don't want to go back to how things were. It hurt too much. The honesty in her words sent a pang through him. He couldn't blame her for feeling that way. Memories of their fights, the long silences, the day they took their vows and the day they broke them echoed through his mind. Yet he couldn't let fear dictate the future for Mia. I know, Ryan admitted. But we can't stay stuck in what went wrong. We have an opportunity to change the narrative. Don't you feel it? Emily crossed her arms, her posture defensive but her brow unsoftened as she searched his expression. It's not just about us anymore. We have a child now. Yes. Exactly. Ryan exclaimed, his excitement bubbling over. Think of the legacy we can create for her. We don't have to be bound by our past mistakes. The spark of agreement flickered in her eyes, just briefly, but it filled Ryan with a sense of determination. Let us meet, just you and me, to talk about how we can do this. We can help each other heal if we let ourselves. Meet? Emily repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. You really think we could find common ground? I do, he said firmly. For Mia, for us. We owe it to her. Emily sighed, the weight of decision hanging in the air. She looked back to the crowd, the energy still alive but hazy as the noise faded from her consciousness. What if we don't succeed? Ryan stepped closer, his heart racing. Then we try again. Together. But if we don't at least try, we'll never know what's possible. That small moment of connection reverberated like a silent promise. Would they embrace this chance? As their eyes met, he felt the shift within the core of their shared history. The path ahead was still uncertain, but for the first time, Ryan sensed the shadows lifting. Just then, a loud shout from the crowd broke the moment, drawing their attention. Let's celebrate with a picnic next week. Someone yelled. Ryan's heart leaped at the idea, but before he could respond, he turned back to Emily. Will you come with me? Her breath hitched as she glanced around. Was she really considering it? Will you let the past stay there and step forward with me? The room felt charged as the crowd's energy surged, but all Ryan could focus on was Emily's reaction. Would she take that leap of faith with him? He held his breath, waiting for her answer, knowing that the next few words could change everything. Emily shifted her gaze from Ryan to the crowd, its laughter and chatter a faraway hum compared to the pounding of her heart. Could they really do this? The idea of moving forward was daunting, but there was a flicker of excitement entwined with her fear. You want me to come to a picnic? She asked, letting the words linger, testing them in the open space between them. It's a start, Ryan said, his voice steady despite the uncertainty crackling in the air. Just a chance to see where we stand. We can talk about our plans for Mia, for ourselves and maybe even for this town. What if it's awkward? Emily bit her lip, worry creeping into her voice. What if all those old feelings come rushing back? Ryan took a deep breath, stepping just a little closer. He could see the hope buried beneath her doubts, and that glimmer ignited his courage. Maybe we need a little awkwardness. It means we're trying to reconnect. It means we're taking steps. Isn't that what we want for Mia? That's what I want, Emily sighed, her defenses softening. But I'm terrified. What if we fall back into old habits? What if I can't handle it? Then I promise we'll find our way through, Ryan urged gently. One step at a time. Look, you're not alone in this. I'm here too. We'll figure it out together. A moment stretched between them, heavy with possibilities. Ryan's heart raced as he waited, an anticipation that felt both energizing and terrifying. Emily's expression shifted, something in her eyes softened, a crack breaking through the wall she built around herself. Okay, she finally whispered, her voice barely audible over the joyful noise of the crowd. I'll come. But just for a little while. And we'll keep it about Mia. Nothing more. Ryan felt a weight lift off his chest, replaced by a surge of hope. Thank you, Em. That means everything. They both shared a tentative smile, a glimmer of the connection they once had stirring beneath the surface. The noise of the crowd faded away, and for a brief moment, it felt like it was just the two of them standing on that stage, surrounded by a quiet understanding. Where do we start? Emily asked, a hint of a smirk lifting her lips, breaking the tension. We plan our picnic, Ryan said excitedly. Think of some ideas we could use: games, food, the works. Who's going to organize that? She chuckled, the warmth in her laughter loosening the apprehension that still clung to her heart. I can manage that, Ryan replied, confidence swelling within him. But I'll need your input. We can focus on activities that bring families together. Something that makes them want to connect. Emily nodded, a newfound determination glimmering in her eyes. And maybe we could start a project to work on together at the picnic, something simple for families to participate in. Exactly. We could collect stories, photos, or messages from everyone about what they love in this town. It could even turn into an art installation for the local park. Emily's smile broadened. You really think something like that would work? Definitely. It'll give everyone a voice. Let them share a piece of themselves. As they brainstormed ideas, Ryan felt a spark of realization. This wasn't just about Mia anymore, it was about unearthing their own pasts, learning to move forward while honoring what had come before. The shadows of doubt began to fade, replaced by the light of possibilities. Just then, a toddler's laughter rang out nearby, pulling their attention back to the crowd. Ryan glanced at Emily, catching the joy on her face as she spotted Mia playing cheerfully with some other kids. The sight filled him with warmth as a sense of purpose flooded back. "Let's get to work on our plan," Ryan said, a grin stretching across his face as he felt hope knitting their bond tighter. But beneath their excitement, a nagging thought lingered: would their renewed connection unravel with each challenge they faced? And as they watched Mia spin around in blissful ignorance of the past, would they have the strength to reshape their future together? The promise of the picnic hung in the air. Between them an invitation to healing, but also a gamble on their fragile hearts. Would it be enough to guide them back to one another, or would it lead them down a path they were not ready to tread? Emily and Ryan spent the following week planning the picnic, their phones buzzing with messages and ideas. It felt natural, this collaboration, like putting on a much-loved old sweater that still had the warmth of nostalgia, even with the frayed edges. One afternoon, Emily was sitting at the kitchen table, laptop open, Mia drawing beside her. The sun streamed through the window, casting a golden glow across the room. It was a peaceful moment, but Emily could feel the gentle tension beginning to build as picnic day approached. The thought of seeing Ryan again had her heart racing in unexpected ways. "Mama, look!" Mia exclaimed, her small fingers proudly holding up a colorful crayon drawing of a duck. The child's innocence wrapped around Emily like a warm hug. "That's beautiful, sweetie," Emily praised, beaming with genuine joy. "You should show that to Ryan." Mia's eyes sparkled with delight. "Can he come to our picnic too?" Emily's smile faltered for just a moment, uncertainty creeping in again. "Yes, he will be there." Mia grinned even wider, unaware of the complexities behind the words. To her, it was just a day for fun and laughter. Emily envied Mia's ability to take everything at face value, free from the burdens of the past. She took a deep breath, reminding herself of why they were doing this. As the week progressed, Ryan and Emily exchanged ideas about food, activities, and decorations. Ryan suggested classic picnic items, sandwiches, chips, and lemonade, while Emily pushed for a potluck-style approach, inviting others to contribute their favorite dishes. The idea resonated with Ryan, who felt the warmth of a community spirit growing stronger. On the day of the picnic, excitement tangled with anxiety in Emily's chest. The park buzzed with families arriving, laughter mixing with the scent of fresh grass and barbecue. Mia dashed off to meet her friends, leaving Emily to manage the setup, her heart thumping louder with every passing minute. Ryan arrived later, carrying an oversized cooler stacked high with goodies. His cheeks were slightly flushed, either from the sun or perhaps from the rush of being in the same space as Emily after so long. "Hey, Em. Any help you need?" he called, his voice breaking through her thoughts. She looked up, and for a moment, time stood still. The years melted away, and she saw the boy she once knew, the one who used to make her laugh so easily. "Just help me set up the blankets," she replied, keeping her tone light. They spread the checkered fabric over the grass together, their fingers brushing momentarily. A jolt of electricity shot through her, leaving her breathless. She glanced over to see if Mia was watching, but the little girl was preoccupied, her giggles echoing as she played tag. "Can I ask you something?" Ryan asked suddenly, his voice soft yet serious. Emily paused and looked at him, curiosity outweighing her worry. "Sure. Do you think we can make this work? I mean, between us." "For Mia." The weight of his words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken hopes masking their vulnerability. Emily opened her mouth to respond, but her voice failed her. What did she want? They were no longer the same people they once were. I don't know, she finally admitted, her voice a whisper. Just then, the sound of laughter erupted from nearby, drawing their attention as families started gathering around picnic tables. Decision time loomed ahead, and not only for the day but for the future they might still build together. Suddenly, they heard Mia's laughter turn into a scream of joy or surprise, it was hard to tell. Both of them snapped their heads toward the sound, fear gripping Emily's heart. What had happened? As they rushed toward the noise, Emily's heart raced. Was this just the picnic they planned, or would it hold more surprises, perhaps even answers, she wasn't sure she was ready for. Emily and Ryan pushed through the crowd, hearts pounding as they made their way to the source of the commotion. It felt as though the world had narrowed to that tense moment, a spotlight shining on them while the laughter faded into a muffled backdrop. They found Mia at the center of a small circle of children, her face alight with joy as she pointed excitedly at a puppy tiny, fuzzy, and wagging its tail as it played around a little boy who was trying to keep up with it. The boy's laughter echoed through the park, a sweet melody that contrasted with the tightening knot in Emily's chest. Look, Mama! A puppy! Mia shouted, clapping her hands. The sheer delight in her voice pulled Emily out of the momentary panic, easing the worries that had lodged like stones in her throat. As Ryan reached Mia first, he knelt down beside her, his smile wide and full of warmth. What a cutie! Where did it come from? Emily crouched down, her heart fluttering at the sight of Ryan with their daughter. Here they were, in the middle of a park, surrounded by picnics and laughter, and in an instant, it began to feel like something more, a strange blend of nostalgia and possibility. I think it's lost. Mia exclaimed, her brow furrowing with concern. Lost? Ryan echoed, glancing around as if searching for someone who might be looking for the little pup. Emily felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps moments like this, simple, sweet, filled with childlike wonder, could lead to something greater. Let us find its owner together, Ryan suggested, and as he spoke, he reached for Emily's hand as if it were the most natural thing in the world. She let him, her pulse quickening with his contact. The warmth spread through her like sunshine breaking through clouds after a storm. They walked together, hand in hand with Mia leading the way. As they approached other families, they asked if anyone had lost a puppy. Emily stole glances at Ryan, cautious yet hopeful. What was happening? The air felt thick with unspoken words and unacknowledged feelings. While they moved from group to group, Emily's thoughts went to how effortlessly Ryan and Mia connected. Mia babbled excitedly about the puppy, her innocence acting as a bridge between them. It caught Emily off guard how her heart swelled with admiration for Ryan at that moment, the way he engaged with Mia, the laughter in his eyes, a spark of the man she once knew. But then doubt seeped in. Could they really rebuild what they had? Or were they simply clinging to the past, to memories that couldn't be recreated? Hey, look! Mia interrupted her thoughts, pointing toward a family nearby. That lady looks sad. Maybe she lost her puppy. Emily followed Mia's gesture and saw a young woman with tear-streaked cheeks, holding onto a leash that had no dog. Ryan nodded in understanding, and Emily felt a slip of relief. Maybe they could help, together. The heaviness in her heart shifted, a strange sense of hope igniting a flicker of courage. As they approached the woman, Emily could feel Ryan's fingers tighten around hers. It was a simple gesture, yet it sent shivers across her skin. The moment felt charged, like the air before a storm, and she couldn't shake the feeling that this day would be pivotal. Excuse me, Ryan said softly, kneeling down to Mia's level as they reached the woman. This is Mia, and we think we might have found your puppy. The woman looked up, surprise washing over her face. As Ryan began to explain, Emily remained quiet, lost in a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. Was she ready to dive headfirst into this uncertain sea again? Just then, her heart skipped as she met Ryan's gaze, and in that fleeting moment, it felt as if they both knew this was just the beginning of a bigger journey ahead. A journey filled with questions, possibilities, and perhaps some answers they were both longing for. What would they find as they navigated this new terrain together? The young woman blinked in surprise, her tears shimmering like tiny jewels as she processed Ryan's words. Emily could see the flicker of hope in her eyes, and it ignited something deep inside her, a spark of empathy mixed with nostalgia. How many times had she felt lost, searching for something that seemed just out of reach? I lost him in the crowd," the woman choked out, her voice tremulous. "I didn't think he would run off so fast." She glanced around, desperation creeping back in. The leash dangled limply in her hands, a silent testimony to her heartache. Mia, ever the innocent observer, took a step forward. "Don't worry," she said earnestly, "we'll help you find him. I love puppies." Her enthusiasm was contagious, and even in that heavy moment, a smile broke through the tension. "Thank you," the woman whispered, her eyes softening at the sight of Mia's innocent resolve. Ryan turned his attention to Emily, their hands still connected. The warmth between them felt electrifying, a quiet promise of understanding igniting within the tension. "Let us split up and see if we can spot him," Ryan suggested, his voice steady and reassuring, grounding everyone around him. Emily nodded, feeling a rush of gratitude wash over her. Together, they began moving in different directions, scanning the park. Mia led the charge, fearless in her search, laughing as she called out to the other children. But as Emily turned her gaze from the path lined with laughter, her eyes brightened with determination. The park was a mix of sounds: children screaming in delight, the rustle of leaves in the fresh breeze, and the distant chatter of families. Yet beneath it all, tension brewed in Emily's chest. Would they actually find the puppy? And what did this reunion really mean for her and Ryan? Did it mean they were stepping towards something new, or were they just momentarily distracted by the happiness of a child and a lost pet? As they combed through the playground and flower beds, Emily heard faint barking trailing in the direction of the trees. Her heart raced. "Over here!" she called, using her voice to cut through Mia's excited chatter. They rushed toward the sound, a sense of urgency propelling them forward. Ryan reached her side, his breath coming in fast bursts. "Did you hear that?" he asked, his eyes brightening. "Yes. It's coming from the bushes." As they pushed through the branches, they were greeted by the sight of a small, scruffy puppy tangled in a wild tangle of roots, his brown eyes wide and confused. "Oh, there you are!" the woman exclaimed, rushing forward. The sense of relief was palpable. She knelt beside the puppy and gently untangled him, lifting him into her arms. "I thought I'd lost you forever." Her voice cracked, and tears rolled down her cheeks, but this time they were tears of joy. Emily's heart swelled at the reunion. Ryan's hand still gripped hers tightly, his thumb brushing against her knuckles, grounding her in the moment. For the first time in a long time, she dared to imagine a future filled with warmth, laughter, and puppy love. As the woman hugged the puppy close, they all shared in that beautiful moment of connection. Mia bounced with delight, giggling as the puppy licked her face, which pulled a laugh from Ryan that made Emily's heart skip a beat. Just then, the woman turned towards Ryan and Emily, her expression turning solemn. "Thank you, truly. You helped me find him." "We didn't do it alone," Ryan said, glancing at Emily with a knowing look. "This little one brought us all together." The air shifted then, thick with possibility. Here they stood, strangers once again, bonded over a lost puppy, yet tethered to a past that lingered like a warm glow in the midst of a storm. As Emily felt a gust of the breeze ripple through the park, she pondered the weight of their next steps. Would this small act of kindness be a thread connecting them back to something they both wanted? Or would it unravel them further? Suddenly, Mia pulled at her arm. "Can we keep him, Mama? Please?" Faced with her daughter's pleading eyes, Emily felt a rush of hope surge within her. Just like a puppy, could their love be nurtured back to life? But even as she opened her mouth to respond, a familiar voice from the crowd called out, shattering the moment with a different kind of tension. "There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you." Emily turned sharply, heart pounding, knowing the next twist of fate approached. What would it mean for all of them? The crowd parted as a tall figure emerged, an older man, distinguished with silver hair and glasses, wearing a deep set of concern. Emily recognized him at once, Mr. Grayson, the owner of the local pet supply store, visibly flustered as he made his way toward them. "I'm so sorry." He bolted right out of the shop. "Thank you for finding him," he said, taking the puppy into his arms with a grateful sigh. Relief washed over the young woman, but the air crackled with uncertainty for Emily and Ryan. "Everything okay, lady?" Mr. Grayson asked, catching sight of Emily and Ryan standing close together, hand in hand. Something shifted in his expression, and he studied them intently. Yeah," Emily stammered, her heart racing. "We were just helping this little girl find her lost puppy." Mia, oblivious to the complexities around her, jumped up and down with excitement. "Can we have a puppy now, Mama? Please?" Laughter bubbled through the gathering, a sense of joy and community spilling over the scene brought forth by their shared experience. Emily's heart swelled at the sight of Mia's happiness, yet behind it lurked her own fears. "Maybe one day," Emily teased softly, the ghost of a smile flickering across her lips, though every word felt heavy with implication. She glanced at Ryan, who shared in her complex emotions as he met her gaze, silently encouraging her to embrace the moment. While Mr. Grayson ushered the young woman and the puppy away, Emily felt a sense of urgency bubble within her, as if the very air demanded that they follow through on the hope birthed amidst the tangled roots. "Ryan," she began hesitantly, not entirely sure where to lead, but knowing they couldn't let this feeling dissipate just like that. They had been given a glimpse, a spark of connection, the possibility of something beautiful instead of the darkness of yesterday. "I think we should plan more community events," she continued, her voice strong and full of resolve. "This is what sets the foundation for courage and connection. If we can bring everyone together, maybe we can inspire true change." Ryan's eyebrows shot up. "You're serious? You want to plan a series of projects together?" "Yes. For Mia and the other children. A place where they can thrive," Emily said, her excitement building. "Let us create a community garden, workshops, ways to celebrate what's good in this town. It doesn't have to be perfect, just real." Ryan's eyes lit up with a mix of admiration and wonder. "I love that. We can make this a collaborative effort, engaging everyone. I want Mia to grow up knowing her parents were part of something meaningful." The moment felt electric, everything shifting in the face of possibility. And for the first time, the weight of their past transformed into an opportunity, a chance to architect a better present. Mia and her friends could help with choosing plants, maybe even start an art collective to decorate the space. Emily's voice rang out, infused with ideas bursting forth, uncharacteristic excitement cascading across her features. "Yes," Ryan affirmed, the warmth of his hand tightening around hers, propelling them forward in their newfound resolve. "And we can reach out to local businesses, gather donations, and enlist volunteers. There's power in connection." As they began discussing plans animatedly, the specter of doubt started to fade. Their laughter echoed amidst the fragrant air, the tension evaporating like morning mist under the rising sun. Kids nearby shared their ideas, and they happily joined in, nurturing that bond of community renewed. Mia raced back to them, closely trailed by her friends, her face lit up with joy. "Are we planting flowers now? Can I help?" Her enthusiasm painted the air bright. "Yes, we can all help together," Emily replied, kneeling down to share the vision with her. "You want to help make this place beautiful, don't you?" Every eager face around them glowed with excitement, sparking a renewed sense of unity. They were no longer mere remnants of fractured relationships, they were building something new, a tapestry woven with laughter, color, and growth. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the park. Emily and Ryan shared a quiet glance across the vibrant gathering now bustling with life. Their hands still intertwined, they silently acknowledged the weight of their past and the promise nestled within their future. And in this moment, a new chapter began to unfold, not just for them as a couple, but for Mia and the town they cherished. They were no longer separate entities but fragments of a larger dream, flickering with the warmth of newfound hope among the blossoms of tomorrow. "Let us do this," Ryan said, conviction ringing through his voice. With each word, Emily felt the promise cement beneath their palms, a pledge to rebuild a legacy not born of clashing histories, but reconciliation, unity, and the boundless potential for growth. As laughter and whispers wove around them, Emily smiled widely, her heart finally open to embrace the love that had always been their one worth nurturing. And so, with arms wide open, they stepped into the future, ready for all the challenges it would bring but determined to face them, together. You need to subscribe now to witness the unfolding of more incredible transformations. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share this journey with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring story. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm with the love it needs. Comment your reactions and feelings about this beautiful ending, your voice matters.